Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today in this video I'm going to be following up from my previous video, which was point number 5. If you remember, I was talking about the 5 things that I didn't like about this BMW. Now I'm going to alleviate on the point number 5. If you remember what I was talking about last time, it was regards to sudden maintenance. Now the 5, I'm going to try and make it a list of 5 things as to what will go wrong with this E90. Now these are things that I've addressed in the past, so if this video happens to help you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'll really appreciate that. Without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the sudden things that you have to maintain and to prevent sudden failure. Now bearing in mind, certain things won't be able to be maintained. All you'll have to do is to replace them, or just to be aware that they will fail. Now, the first thing that we're going to have to worry about is the alternator. If you're buying an old car, you want to make sure that the vehicle is charging properly and to have adequate voltage being charged to the battery. As well as you need to be aware if there's any battery drain, like maybe you have a tracking unit or maybe you leave something on that will cause a problem with regards to your charging. You need to be monitoring that to make sure that you do not cause any alternator failure. Now there isn't a very specific way to pinpoint an alternator failure until you actually see that the red warning light on your dashboard comes on. Now that will be the worst case scenario, that if your battery runs completely down and your alternator is not charging. Now you will get that light if your serpentine belt is not positioned properly and if it's not actually in line with your alternator, it's not spinning as such. So that will cause your alternator to not charge up properly and spin at the correct speed. Now you need to make sure all of that is in 100% order before going ahead and actually replacing any components with regards to the alternator. Now if you happen to have an alternator fault, there is a way that you can fix it. You just need to have the regulator replaced and the actual brushes inside. Now you can get that as a kit from the manufacturer of your alternator. I think for this one here it's Valio, so I'm going to leave a link in the description if I can find one. So that will be your manufacturer. You can always look up your manufacturer or your specifications from the actual alternator itself, or you can check your owner's manual. It has to have something like that, or you can even Google online and see if anyone else had the same problem. So I'm just going to leave that as number 1. Number 2 will be door locks. Door locks and windows. Let's just make that one thing, because with the E90s, the door lock will have a certain lifespan. Now in event that you happen to have a failure, because according to forums, this was a common failure, and this was a very spontaneous failure, because it can happen instantly. You can wake up in the morning, go to your car, unlock it, go to work, come back, and you can try and lock it and nothing. Sometimes it'll lock, sometimes it won't unlock, or sometimes it's the other way around. Bearing in mind there are plastic gears inside that door lock. I'll leave a link in the description down below as to the video that I've made with regards to changing up the door lock. Some may call it a door lock, some may call it a lock actuator. It all depends on what you actually call it. There's no right and wrong way to say it, but yeah, I'll leave it in the corner up over here so you can check that video out so you can see exactly what's going on. I opened up my previous door lock so that you can see what the cause of failure is. Now bearing in mind, I mentioned windows as well. The window motor is also prone to failure, so just bear in mind that could happen to you. And sometimes it's a very expensive fix, sometimes it's very cheap. If you can find a brand new window actuator or window mechanism, you can find it off a scrapped car, then by all means go for it. There's no right and wrong way to do it. It's your vehicle at the end of the day, and how you choose to maintain it is to your standard. If you want to buy a new one, by all means do it. If things are tight on your budget, and because these are sudden failures, some of us may not budget for sudden failures, some of us do. By all means, do what you feel is right, and there's no one's gonna judge you. If they do, then some people are just jerks. Yeah, I said it. What people don't understand in the car world is that it's your vehicle, it's your pride and joy. It's how you can portray it as being the best in the world. It's your car to enjoy. Don't let other people tell you otherwise, because then you're not going to be enjoying the car for yourself. You're basically enjoying it and to impress other people, and that's not what a car is supposed to be doing. Yes, it's a vehicle is meant to take you from point A to point B, but we as car people, we enjoy doing things with our car, and we want to do it for our taste, for our appeal, and for our enjoyment. And aside from that, let's get to the next point. Number 3, with regards to this specific vehicle, it had a turbo failure at 161,000 Ks. Now, some say that is okay that it went out at that specific time. Some say it'll be premature. All depends on how you drive your vehicle and how the previous owner, if you bought it second hand, how they drove it. Whether it is from point A to point B, whether they drove it hard, whether they maintained it if they done so, whether if you need to let your vehicle idle after you've parked off to let it bring the RPM down on the turbo. Yeah, that's true. But with these modern turbos, they are all water cooled, so it's always circulating once it's done. But I personally, what I do is I let the vehicle idle for some time, maybe 30 seconds or so, just to keep that oil running through and bring it to an idle speed. Then after, I switch the vehicle off. And if you happen to have a turbo car and if you've driven it hard, you just come home, you're in a rush, you just switch it off and leave it, you will still hear that the turbine spin. But remember, once you switch it off, there's no oil going to it, because everything is switched off. The pump is not working. Now your bearing is just going to be running dry. Now, don't quote me on this, but if it happens to do so, you will be wearing out the turbo very fast. Now it's a cartridge just inside the actual turbo. It's not very expensive to replace, but then again, labor cost to do so is not very cheap as well. So just bear that in mind. Number 4 of sudden things that could go wrong that we tend to overlook is the actual serpentine belt. Yes, they're rated for 40,000 kilometers plus. Now, when you are driving, you tend to not pay attention to that. It's just start up and go. Now, the actual mechanics of it, you need to be wary of it. If you don't pay attention to the maintenance of your vehicle, like I've said, it's going to bite you in the butt. And if you don't change your serpentine belt in time, you will hear a very irritating squealing noise. I'll leave a link to the video that I've done where I've replaced the serpentine belt. And in the beginning of the video, you'll hear what the car sounded like. Now, I'm just going to deter from that point, and I'm going to say to everybody that watched that video and commented at a specific point in the video that the noise is still there. With new parts, it's not gonna disappear 100%. Now, when I've changed that serpentine belt, there was a slight squeak when I switched the vehicle off. Yes, I know that. At the same time, that noise is gone. I will put the camera in the front in a little bit, and I will start the vehicle up so that you can hear that noise is completely disappeared. Now, bearing in mind, if there was a slight squeak, I'll take that gladly over the noise that this car was making, whereas the belt was so loose and had no tension whatsoever that it is basically almost running free while the car was in motion. Now, you do not want that. So that little rant aside, maintenance is the most important thing. Now, I'm gonna go to point number 5, and this is not like something that you can prevent. With a turbo vehicle, especially a turbo diesel, it will consume a lot of oil. Every 4,000 kilometers or so, it should warn you to add oil. That is what I've experienced. Almost every 4,000 kilometers, I'm adding a liter of oil. And because the oil for this vehicle I'm using a 5W30 blend. It's fully synthetic, BMW approved oil. I buy it from my dealership. So it's not that expensive, and that's what I use all the time. You can use any brand of oil at this point. This is not any sponsored video or something to that effect. I'm just telling you what I use. Now with the turbo diesel, there is still a dipstick. And even though most of them come on screen on the dashboard, like I think it's the E90 petrol models, but the E90 diesel model still has a dipstick on it. So that's the biggest bonus that you can get. Now personally, I don't mind the dips. I don't mind the electronic pickup sensors and whatnot, but the dipstick was always a conventional method. You just open up the bonnet, pull it out, wipe it down, put it back and put it back and check your oil. Now that's always been the conventional method. Now with regards to the new ones, there's always a controversy saying people do not like the electronic one. Some people prefer a dipstick. It all depends. Times are changing. They're trying to eliminate you going in and dirtying your hands and whatnot. But certain people like it, and no one can fault them for that. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you did like it, give it a thumbs up and do consider subscribing to the channel. I really do appreciate it. If you want to see more with regards to this car, do leave your comments down in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your feedback, and I'd like to hear what you think about it. What do you want me to do? What would you like to see in the future? I'm going to make another video coming soon with regards to the mods that I want to install in this car, that maybe we'll set it out apart from the rest. So stay tuned for that video, and leave a comment down below if you want to see something like that. I've got a playlist of all the mods and maintenance stuff that I've done on this car. I'll leave it at the end of this video. So if you like, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram. It's real Preshaan B. I'll leave it down over here in the bottom of the screen. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.